with Shenanigans, the Vault XL. Yes, that was my former channel name. And I'm bringing you Shenanigans with this commentary because I don't have all the details, but it doesn't sound good. This black male by the name of Reginald DEPRIEST, 26 years of age, has been arrested in connection to the death of a woman who resided in Western Heights, and it is a public housing development. I'm going to read you also a post by a Caucasian male who claims that he was bullied by this black male when they were children. Let's get down to business, everybody. Welcome to the Vault XL. Thank you for joining me. This is by the Knoxville Police Department. Suspect charged in death of woman in Western Heights apartment. Knoxville Police Department Homicide Unit detectives have obtained a warrant charging Reginald DEPRIEST, 26, with first-degree murder in connection to the death of a woman at a Western Heights apartment on Friday afternoon. At around 4:10 p.m. on Friday, January 5th, 2024, KPD officers responded to an apartment at 463 West Oldham Avenue, where a woman was found unresponsive inside the apartment. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. KPD Homicide Unit detectives and crime lab personnel responded to the scene for further investigation. Leads developed in the course of the investigation led to the identification of DEPRIEST as the suspect. Efforts remain ongoing to locate DEPRIEST. Anyone with information concerning his whereabouts is urged to contact the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. And I don't have to give that number because he has turned himself in. Reginald DEPRIEST. Okay, everybody? This male has turned himself in connection to a murder of a female. I do not have all the circumstances as of yet because naturally this is a new case. I have not found the name of the victim yet. I've been scrolling Facebook briefly, trying to see if anyone post her name. I did see a woman saying in a post, "Rest in peace, Tweety." I don't know if that's her nickname or not. So I'm not here to make any claims on who she is, her race, who she is to the suspect. I do not know. But naturally, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty. This young man has something to say about Reginald DEPRIEST. Let me paint you a picture. 7th grade recess, sitting on the bleachers, and next thing I know, I'm being tossed headfirst in a trash can. At that moment, I was robbed of the rest of my time in school. All the way to senior year, not a day went by I wasn't reminded of being thrown in a trash can and laughed at. Fast forward to the countless days after school where I'd have the absolute SHIT kicked out of me in the wrestling area, and everyone just went with it. Well, here is the face of the piece of SHIT responsible for all of that. But now he's responsible for robbing someone of their life. To everyone who didn't see this coming, it must be nice being that ignorant. I know I wasn't the only one. I hope everyone who goaded him into throwing me into that dumpster understands this started with you. Everyone who laughed and did nothing, this started with you. The faculty who did nothing, this started with you. To everyone who laughed at me every day and reminded of when I was thrown into that trash can, I hope you know, celebrated the actions of what this man turned into. Oh, Lordy. Everyone let him do this. And now someone is dead. I hope all of you bear that cross. F you all in the most disrespectful way possible. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. This was a post uploaded 22 hours ago. I'm not going to say the person's name just for reasons that are obvious. I've reached out to the person who wrote this post today and left him a message, and I will wait to see if he will respond to come on to the Vault XL to give his rendition of what happened that day in school. I do not know if this was an everyday occurrence because it sounds, I don't know. He says he was reminded every day of that trash can event. So obviously he was traumatized by this Mr. DEPRIEST, and he felt like everyone was a party to it. Those who watched, laughed, goaded him on. So now we have to ask that question. Was Mr. DEPRIEST a bully in school? How many other children have stories of this black male bullying them, bothering them, harassing them? What other crimes has he committed? Naturally, I went over to Facebook to get information about this person. Let me go back in here and search. Hold on a minute, everybody. Can't find it. Let's see. There we go. I have to find his name. Sorry. Working from the computer today, bring you the information. Here is his profile. I'm not going to play background because of copyrights with music, but this is his. Come on now, what's the problem? I can't get his face for some reason. It's strange. Profile picture. Those are pictures of his profile. Then these are other posts of Mr. DEPRIEST. And it's just a lot of him playing music and talking in the background. Here he is at work, the 22nd. So naturally, we're in the first month of the new year. So he obviously had a job. I also believe he's a Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity member because I see pictures of him in Alpha Phi Alpha hat. So he's been to college. He's from the general area, Maryville, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. There's a picture of him. A lot of posts, naturally, as I said, with music in the background. There he is with the fraternity garb on. I'm sure they're stunned. But the thing that bothers me are the people who are shocked that he did this. I read a post where one guy's telling him, turn yourself in. No, he said, go down there and straighten this out. That's what he said. Go down there and straighten it out. Basically saying, go to the police department, straighten it out. Then one person says, oh, he was a good kid. Well, this white guy, he's been in the military. He doesn't have the same opinion of Mr. DEPRIEST. He says he was bullied by this boy, thrown in a garbage can by him. I don't know how long this went on by Mr. DEPRIEST and this young Caucasian male. It was just a one-time incident. So I wanted to make sure I read everything properly and get an understanding. But nonetheless, he's still traumatized by what this black male did to him as a kid. And he carried the weight of this trash can incident up until being an adult, which is a dangerous thing because we've seen what happens to people who are bullied, teased, have fights, altercations, and they carry a grudge. And next thing you know, they're out here shooting people, stabbing people. You know the rest. So here he is, feeling himself, feeling good. I think his nickname is Gucci because one of the guys who told him to go down to the precinct to handle the business about this death of this woman, he called him GU. And you will see him wearing a lot of Gucci apparel or knockoff Gucci, shall I say. Baltimore, here I come. What's that all about? Was he on his way to visit Baltimore? That was December 17th. Just what? 2 weeks ago? As I said, Won't be playing a lot, the sound, because he has music playing in a lot of his stories. Here we're giving somebody the finger, which I always find that very disrespectful when people throw up the bird. I've done it once. I will admit, I did it once a year or two ago when somebody pissed me off and I threw him a bird. So sick. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But it's just not good to throw up the bird. It's just undignified. Looks like he's got a couple of teeth missing on the bottom. Very interesting. Very interesting. Here's a picture of him in his Louis Vuitton, December 9th. All G'd up. Nice car, leather. Whoever's car it is, don't know. Now he's posing once again, same outfit. Looks like somebody has a nice residence wherever he took this photo. So where did he live? Who did he live with? Does he have children? The woman who is murdered, and he's been the suspect, arrested for this crime. What is his relation to her? I'm very curious. Girlfriend, side piece, new piece, old piece, hookup. What was it all about? I rarely do I talk about local stories in this area because I live in this area, and naturally it's a small area, and all it takes is for you to say the wrong thing about somebody on Facebook, put up a post, whatever, YouTube, and everybody gets all in their feelings. And I'm sure when this video goes to print after I go live, there'll be some people who may not be happy with the Queen bringing you this information. But I'm going to bring you the information because this is what I do. I talk about true crime. I talk about breaking news. He made the news, so it is what it is. As I said, I don't know the circumstances of the crime. I don't even have a name of a victim. But when I get an update, I will bring you a name of the victim, and I will bring you more information pertaining to what law enforcement has to say. But I'm also bringing you commentary from social media pertaining to Mr. DEPRIEST, 26 years of age. I read also someone saying he looks awfully old for his age in that mug shot. Well, you know, depending on how a person lives, and then the time that he's arrested, I believe it was in the wee hours or it was late, he probably wouldn't be looking well. He probably had been, you know, scared, frightened, worried about what to do about murdering this woman, if indeed he is the suspect. He wouldn't be looking his best self. You could see he had a slight facial hair, hadn't shaven, had not shaved, so very interesting. What does his frat brothers have to say? Guys who attended school with him, college. I'm sure it's an utter disrespect to the fraternity, but that's the whole point about life. People are people. You don't know people. So it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, sorority, fraternity, black, white, Mexican, Jew, Arab. A person is just that, a person. Yeah, he likes throwing up that bird. I see that. Let me see something here. So I have to be careful what I play on here.
Mm-hmm. You better get like me. Oh, you can't find this in the store. Not this, baby. This right here. This is customized. Mm-hmm. You better get like me.
Well, I don't think we want to get like you because you're incarcerated right now. Will he get a bond? Naturally, he probably will. Will he be able to afford the bond? Here he is posing. He likes to pose a lot, which you see that a lot with young people who are on social media. They love themselves. They love to pose and dance around and jump around and post their nice little clothes they have on, blah, blah, blah. Here he is again with a Gucci garb on. I'm assuming that's his nickname, Gucci. Posted to Facebook October 15th. Who is Reginald DEPRIEST? How did he get himself in this debacle of being accused of murder? Don't know. Don't know all the circumstances, everybody. I'm just bringing you the information. This is his Facebook account, currently open. As I said, I do not have information about the victim. I do not know the relationship between he and the victim. I just know that an investigation transpired and he was named as the suspect. And as I tell you all, when people start making comments about who did what and they didn't do it, we live in an age of cameras. So for all we know in that housing development, somebody may have had a doorbell camera, saw him going in, coming out, getting into a car, being picked up. So you don't know. So you can't say what somebody did and did not do. Just because you like the person, that does not mean they're not capable of murder. That does not mean they wouldn't aid in a murder, facilitate a murder, conspire to kill. That's your interpretation. But that's why we have detectives to investigate. Excuse me. Sorry about that, everybody. Woo, mercy. Allergies. All right, October 5th, 2023, he uploaded this picture of himself. Obviously, he's at work once again in Gucci attire. He likes Gucci. Well, there's no Gucci in jail at the penal farm in Knoxville, Knox County. I'm assuming that's where he is, or downtown. September 30th, you see he's all G'd up. Got that jewelry, once again, Gucci attire. Very interesting. Isn't it amazing when you go back after a person has been accused of a crime, committed a crime, whichever, found guilty, and you go back and look at pictures of the person on Facebook, IG, TikTok, you see the person as they were at that time. But in the end, that person you see in the photographs, the videos, the uploads, the stories, they are that person even in real time as being a suspect, convicted. The point is you didn't know them. So how was he when he was out here roaming the streets before murdering this woman? Was he still bullying people? Does he have a sharp tongue? Curse at people, talk down to people? Was he violent? Did he abuse people physically with his hands? See, you ask those questions because we have a dead woman now. And we also have someone who's gone to Facebook to post that he bullied him in school when they were children. And I don't think that white guy made that up. I don't think he made that up. Because I think many of you recall childhood and you recall what was done to you and said to you. And of course, everything is about interpretation. Now, one person could say, well, they had an altercation. This guy got mad at that guy and just threw him in the garbage can. He got mad. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I'm just reading you what he said happened to him as a child. And the fact that he says he carried it to 18, that sounds a bit much for a young guy to still be holding on to what somebody did to them from school, from grade school. Doesn't sound good. Let me see if he's talking here. So I have to be very careful about what I touch on here, copyrights and everything.
Why that nigga be hating? It ain't made for you to understand why he be hating. It's made for you to do the shit to make the nigga hate.
Yeah, just music. He's like a lot of young people. They play a lot of music in their stories and they don't really talk. They may talk over the music or talk under it, however you word it, but it's not talking about anything. Well, he likes himself a lot, as you can see. Poses a lot. Once again, more birds. September 19th, 2023. This is a picture he would upload to Facebook as a profile picture, throwing up 2 birds. Yeah, okay. Even when I see females doing this, it's disturbing to me. Well, here it looks like he's at home in a bedroom. Okay. Here he's looking mighty rough. What date is this? September 6th. I won't doubt there's music playing in this.
I'm saying, you ain't got nothing left.
Yeah, same BS. What does he have to say now? I wonder. What happened to that girl, that lady?
Name section. Type my name in there. If I don't pop up in there, then don't come over here playing with me. But all them games that you see in there, you can play with them all day. But this not no game. Don't come over here playing with me. Don't. Do me a favor. Before you come over here playing and want to mingle and all that stuff, make sure you go in your app store. Click games so you can go to the game section. Type my name in there. If I don't pop up in there, then don't come over here playing with me. But all them games that you see in there, you can play with them all day. But this not no game. Don't come over here playing with me. Don't.
Oh, Lordy. Dear God, help me. Don't know what that's all about. That's from the 1st of September. So August 18th, he's in a relationship. So from August 18th, in a relationship, that's a post he put to Facebook. What that happened from August 18th, curious, to September 1st? Was he talking about a female or he was talking about a guy? I don't know. Jesus. Can't never tell. August 15th. Here he's playing with memes. Filters, rather, excuse me. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Well, this right here is the real me. I had to make them folks feel me. Sounds like a rap song. Well, Mr. DePriest, I don't know what happened last week between you and this female. Don't know if exactly you are the person that murdered her. But somebody out there has ill feelings towards you, a Caucasian male, who feels as if you bullied him in school and that others are to blame just as you are, those who stood and watched. And he feels like now you have robbed someone of a whole life, a young lady. As I always say to people about true crime and life in general, everything's about interpretation. Everything's about your perception. Was he a bully in school? Was he a bully in high school? Did he bully people in college? I don't know. How long did he go to college? Did he get a degree from college? What has he been doing since being out of college? Did he have a girlfriend? Was this lady who was found murdered in Western Heights his girlfriend? I don't know. Don't even know her name. The circumstances of the crime, who else was there, witnesses, eyewitnesses, who called in the tip. But as I read you the information from Knoxville Police Department's page, the crime was investigated and all roads led to Mr. Reginald DePriest, 26 years of age. So I'm going to follow their lead until otherwise information comes up to say that this man did not murder this woman. As I said, I only really brought this story because I saw the post from the young man who said he was teased by him. It's a very, very crazy story. Just a very, very crazy story. "205 friends." Somebody I know who says, "Just sad. Too much of this SHIT going on, shaking my head." And the person who posted this, a mugshot of him, her niece was Tashina Kyle. The story I brought to you 2 years ago of a young Black woman who was also murdered by a guy she had been dating on and off. And I mentioned that commentary the other night to you all about going out to that house where she was disposed at the boy's grandmother or great-grandmother's house. It was abandoned. The aunt of that young lady is the one who posted this post pertaining to DEPRIEST. This is the male. What are the circumstances? What was the motive? Is he the right person that murdered the young lady? It's all disturbing, quite frankly. Once again, I will read the post of the person who says he was bullied by this suspect. Thank you all for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. "Let me paint you a picture. 7th grade, recess, sitting on the bleachers, and next thing I know, I'm being tossed headfirst in a trash can. At that moment, I was robbed of the rest of my time in school, all the way to senior year. Not a day went by I wasn't reminded of being thrown in a trash can and laughed at. Fast forward to the countless days after school where I'd have the absolute..." So let's pause that right there. Fast forward to the countless days, countless, okay, after school where I have the absolute SHIT kicked out of me in the wrestling area. So this did go on more than one time. And everyone just went with it. Well, here is the face of the piece of SHIT responsible for all of that. But now he's responsible for robbing someone of their life. To everyone who didn't see this coming, it must be nice being that ignorant. I know I wasn't the only one. I hope everyone who goaded him into throwing me into that dumpster understands this started with you. Everyone who laughed and did nothing, this started with you. The faculty who did nothing, this started with you. To everyone who laughed at me every day and reminded of when I was thrown into that trash can, I hope you now celebrated the actions of what this man turned into. Everyone let him do this, and now someone is dead. I hope all of you bear that cross. F you all in the most disrespectful way possible. That is a post to Facebook by a young man who was bullied by him, by Mr. DEPRIEST, in school. And you hear him say, all the way to senior year, not a day went by I wasn't reminded of being thrown and laughed at. So that means people must have kept talking about it. Fast forward to the countless days after school where I have the absolute SHIT kicked out of me in the wrestling area, and everyone just went with it. This is the piece of SHIT responsible for all of that. This is by a young man who obviously was, from his account, bullied by Reginald DEPRIEST in school and felt that other children stood by and watched and the faculty knew and nobody did anything. So now I have to ask this young man, because I have reached out to him. I have not gotten a response yet that I know of. Did you tell your parents that you were being teased and bullied by this young man? Did you also go to the school, principal, or teachers to tell them you were being teased and bullied and beat up? I cannot imagine what it would be like to be teased day for day. Now, we're all going to have, some of us, because I can't speak for all of you, at some point we all have had an altercation. I've had a 6th grade altercation with a young girl. Teachers, everybody intervened, got my grandparents, everybody involved. It was over just as soon as it started, because where I was going to school at that time, they weren't going to put up with that type of nonsense. Well, there's going to be none of that beating up kids and fighting on buses and all that type of stupid stuff. But every place is not the same. You got to have a certain type of mentality to deal with bullying and fights and so on and so forth. We now live in a world where everybody is so damn barbaric. The children are barbaric. Hell, even the staff, they're barbaric. You got to pray that you can get a resolution to a child being bullied. But I'm fortunate that that was a one-time incident. I didn't have any more problems with anyone bothering me, teasing me all the way up to high school. So I'm very fortunate I didn't have that kind of problem. I can't imagine what it was like for this guy, because you got to remember, I'm old enough to be these two guys' mother. When they were born, I was 26 years of age. Okay? Hello, everybody in the chat. When they were born, I was 26. So right now, I'm old enough to be Mr. DePriest's mother, and old enough to be the other guy who was bullied, his mother. So I can't imagine, fast forward, I'm a child coming from the 70s and 80s to these kids growing up in the 90s and having to deal with this type of BS. But that's the whole point. We live in a different society than when I was a child. I was born in 71. So what went on in 71, the 80s, is totally different now. And it's not to say that children weren't cruel back then when I was a kid. Of course they were. But people tolerate more now and allow more BS to go on. And a lot of people don't like to step in. A lot of people don't want to put the hammer down on bullying and bad behavior. This is why people grow up and they go out and get guns and rifles, and then they return to the school or open place and start shooting everybody because they can't let go of what happened to them. And luckily, the guy who's spinning this story in this Facebook post, he didn't go out there and do that, because he could have done that. So let's always think about that. This guy could have decided, hey, I'm sick of this boy teasing me. Y'all sitting around watching him. He could have came to school with a weapon one day and blew everybody's damn head off. So that's why he put this post up. Now look at Mr. DePriest, same guy that teased me, allegedly. He's now on a Knoxville police website for murder. That's deep. That's deep. A whole person is now dead. So he has a valid point. If his allegations against this man are true, that he was bullied and beat up after school as a kid by Mr. DePriest, now a whole human is gone. And all these damn posts that Mr. DePriest has on his Facebook page, playing all that damn rap music and throwing up birds and stuff and emulating what the rappers are saying about this and that and change and doing better. Well, you haven't done better. If indeed you killed that woman, you didn't do better. You didn't walk away from the situation. And this is what we have to learn about dealing with people. We have got to learn to walk away. You don't like what they said, what they did, walk away, because walking away can preserve your livelihood. As I said, I do not know the circumstances of the murder. I don't know the victim. I don't know who she is to him. I don't know anything. All I know is he's been arrested. And I only brought this story because of the Facebook post of the young man who said he was teased by Mr. DePriest. And there are people on the Facebook page who verify the teasing. Let me say that before I check out of here. When you go in the comment sections of this post, a young lady says, I remember that at recess. Wow, that's deep. You didn't deserve what they did to you. This is pretty deep. When you when you go in and read the comments, I mean, it's all right. See, you didn't deserve how people treated you. Now look at you and look at them. Interesting. Well said. I agree with this. Okay. Keep on proving them wrong and continuing being an awesome human that you are. I remember the day this happened at recess. Sad emoji. Glad we are out of that school and thriving now. Wow. He replies, it was a day I was never allowed to forget, but I lived. And unfortunately, because of the negligence of a few, someone is now gone forever, and I hope they will live with that. Then this person replies, rest in peace, Tweety, and I hope this man services his whole life in jail. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. People aiding the bully. You now have someone verifying that they were there when he was bullied by Mr. DEPRIEST. So now we have to say, what? This girl is lying? This young lady is lying? Hello, everybody in the chat. Is that what we're saying? That this guy is lying about being teased by Mr. DEPRIEST? This young lady verifying in his post? So you got to decide what's the truth. As I said, I do not know the circumstances of the murder, how he knows the victim, if indeed he is the perpetrator. But right now he's arrested. I'm assuming he's at the Knoxville Penal Farm. And we will see if indeed he gets a bond. Tomorrow is Monday, court day. We will see if he gets a bond by the judge. And I will bring you an update. My next commentary today will be pertaining to George and Cindy Anthony. You will hear the questions asked by the polygrapher pertaining to the disappearance and murder of Caylee Anthony. You will hear the answers and responses of the parents during that polygraph, plural, because both of them took polygraphs, George and Cindy. I will play you that content, and we will chop up that situation of what happened and the questions and the responses by Mr. George and Cindy. And I also would like to do a separate live pertaining to the 12 members of the jury who found Caylee Anthony innocent, acquitted her of all charges except for the lying charge to authorities. Why did you vote to acquit her? I'm very curious. And how in the world, with all that was said and done in court, things learned about Caylee Anthony afterwards, that you could stand on that judgment? I think some of you have probably regretted your not guilty vote. Because something that stuck out to me today while listening to the audio of the interrogation, of the polygraphs. While the little girl was missing and gone, out of sight from the Anthonys, Caylee Anthony partied for 31 days. Listen to me carefully. 31 days. So where in the world was the baby? And I know damn well the state brought those jury members that information, because they had to have shown you the pictures of her partying, dancing on the tables, getting the tattoo. And it didn't dawn on you while looking at the photographs, well, where's her baby while she's dancing on this table? All the made up people in the storyline, Zanny the nanny, who never existed. And as I told you yesterday, the only thing that was truthful in her commentary to the police were the addresses. But the people did not exist. Addresses were factual, but not the people. So you 12 members of a jury who looked at all that information brought by the state, witnesses, their accounts, so on and so forth. Where did you think the baby was while the mother was out living with her boyfriend and partying and going out? Who had the baby? Oh, yeah, that's right. Somebody dumped her. But it wasn't Casey. Could have been the father. Could have been this person. Could have been Cindy. But you can't hold the mother accountable when she was the one who left with the child. This is the most disturbing case on the books of a murderer walking free. Because I think we all know no outside stranger or acquaintance kidnapped that baby or murdered that baby. And when you do the stats, as I have brought to you so many times by the FBI, 450 children murdered each year by their mother. Filicide. Not a stranger, not Bubba, not Pookie, not Ray Ray, but the mother. And why would a mother, a grandmother rather, call the police on herself to say, oh, we got the car. We just got the car. It was towed, blah, blah, blah. It smells like a dead body's in the trunk. Why would I do that if I'm involved in the disappearance or murder of my grandbaby? Why would I implicate myself? I wouldn't call. I'm going to call the police. This is how you know there was something wrong with the 12 members of the jury. And I would like to believe that at least 2 or 3 people on that jury wanted to vote guilty, but got talked into a not guilty as not to hang the verdict and start the trial all over. Well, I wish you all had spoken up, because it would have been daunting for the state to redo the trial, but at least she still would have been incarcerated, and maybe the second jury would have found Casey Anthony guilty. That's my commentary, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Once again, go back to the beginning of this live to get the information pertaining to Reginald DEPRIEST, 26 years of age, black male, charged with first-degree murder in connection to a deceased woman found in Western Heights. It is a public housing development in Knoxville, Tennessee. I do not have all the information pertaining to the woman's identity and the relation between she and Mr. DEPRIEST, but I will bring you that said information. As I said, the reasoning for this live stream is from a Facebook post by a young man who says he was teased, bullied by Mr. DEPRIEST as a child. And he has never forgotten, and obviously has not forgiven, Mr. DEPRIEST and others who stood by while he was accosted by Mr. DEPRIEST. And once again, I have reached out to him and I'm waiting for a response, but I decided to go ahead and do this live anyway. And then if he decides to join me, I'll bring him up on the panel and let him give his version of what happened to him as a child. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $129, Cash App, stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Happy Sunday to everybody. Have a prosperous week. Once again, Happy New Year. Join me later today for live number 2 pertaining to George and Cindy's polygraphs pertaining to the death of their granddaughter, Kaylee Anthony. You've been listening to the Vault XL.